In this video, I want to talk about something a little different than what I normally talk about on this channel. I got a question on LinkedIn, and if you're active on LinkedIn, you may have seen they have this something called a career advice, where people who ask for career advice can ask those questions, and those questions will be channeled to certain people who LinkedIn feels qualified to answer those. And I got a few pop-ups. I kind of looked through them. They were general business advice and nothing that I was interested in. But one question popped up that I thought was really good. And then I kind of forgot about that card that popped up and I couldn't find it anymore. So I did want to answer that question, but couldn't answer the person. So I figured I'll make a video and I answer it so that everyone can hear my opinion on the matter. Also, this is just my personal opinion on the question. Well, if you've seen the title of the video, you know what the question is. All right, and the situation was there is a lady who feels that her boss, who is a male, I believe, is taking credit for her work. And what she wants to do is she wants to show a wider audience outside of her department, entire company, that she is the one who is doing work, and she is the one that should get credit for accomplishing something. And I'm kind of paraphrasing here because I don't have the question written down exactly, but that's kind of how it goes. Is her boss is taking credit for her work and she doesn't like that. So let me answer it how I feel about that situation. First, organizations have departments, and departments have different structure, where you have a boss who probably manages that particular department. And first thing is, it's really their job to be responsible for that department, and that involves taking credit for what's happening in the department. And the reason for that, they're also taking blame for any problems that could happen in that department as well. So it is kind of their job to be the external person, the outwards facing person to the rest of the company, to any kind of accomplishments that are happening within that department, as well as be responsible for any problems that may occur there as well. So having your boss send out work on department's behalf is totally fine. In fact, that's how it should be, because that defines organizational structure and that keeps things organized. And if your boss treats you well, he gives you credit for work internally in front of other employees in the department, that is totally fine. That's exactly what he should be doing. If he's appreciative of your work, you getting maybe bonuses, raises, and so on, it's fine. It's really how it should be. The one time where it may not be okay, or you may feel it's not okay, is, let's say you create some kind of report, presentation or something else, and you send it to your boss and says, here you go, I did it. And what he does is he saves that attachment, attaches to a brand new email, and forwards it to somebody else and says, here you go, I did it. Well, this is where you could, you could get kind of offended because, well, he didn't really do it, his department did it, and it would be more appropriate to sort of forward an email including you on the email chain possibly, or just include email chain communicating from you that the work was passed on to him, as sort of giving you the credit. But again, he doesn't really have to do it. And if he says I do it, yeah, it's kind of not a nice move on his part, and certainly something to be offended about. But you may not want to ruin your relationship with your boss if everything else is fine. If your work is fine, if you, like I said, getting raises and so on, and you moving up through your career, I would say it's not worth getting into a fight about it. Okay, because it is his job to take responsibility for everything that comes out of that department. Now, the second part of the question here is she wants to get more visibility in her company overall. So she wants to see others that she is doing the work, Maybe she's capable of doing more work and just be more known in the company. There are a couple of ways to get yourself out there and sort of show everyone that you know more than what you do now, if that's your goal. One way is you can possibly participate in a presentation. For example, maybe your department or maybe your boss does a presentation to the rest of the company about something. Well, you could ask your boss and say, hey, do you mind if I take part in that presentation? Maybe I can talk about a certain part of it or part of the process, or just be present at the very least. And then that's how you can sort of participate and have people from outside the department being there, knowing that, well, you exist. The other thing you could do that I found very helpful and everyone likes is training sessions. Again, maybe you're an expert in like Microsoft Excel, and other departments are struggling with Excel. Well, you could offer, say, hey, what I can do is I can do a training session and show everyone some of the cool Excel formulas that people could use to make their job easier. And what you want to do is you want to ask your boss about it, right? You don't want to go around him, because that's how you're going to cause all kinds of problems. You want to ask your boss, is it okay if I do this training session? I hear these people really would like to learn more. Can I schedule something for an hour? We'll all get together in the conference room and I'll host a training session. If he says yes, great. You're getting out there, you're showing yourself to the rest of the company. If he says no, I would just leave it at that. If he says no, that's fine. Get back to your normal work and just do what you normally do. If, on the other hand, you don't mind ruining the relationship with your boss a little bit, or you're trying to get out of that department, one of the ways you can do is talk to some of the higher ups in the company and sort of do the same. Offer maybe some kind of training, offer a presentation, offer to do something company-wide. And if they agree to it, well, your boss will probably have to go with it. Now, again, he may not like it because you kind of went around him, but that's one of the ways of sort of breaking out of the department and trying to show the rest of the company that you have additional skills, tell them about what you do, and just helping company overall. So that's my take on this question. Again, I would not do anything to ruin the relationship with your boss if everything is going okay. That would be the first thing. Don't ruin relationships at work, because it is really difficult to fix them after you did something, after you went around somebody. No one's going to like that. Well, if you're determined to get out of that position or get out of that department, then do whatever you got to do to show the rest of the company that you got additional skills. And like I said, maybe over a holiday party, you're talking to a higher up boss and saying, hey, I got these Excel formulas that are super cool. Do you guys want to see them one day? And maybe that's one of the ways you start that conversation going, which leads to more and more things. Anyway, this is just my opinion based on working in companies that I worked in. I'm sure different companies have different rules and policies and ways people can change jobs. Sometimes you have to apply for certain positions. Sometimes you could just say, hey, I want to do that, and they go, done, you're doing that now. So different companies work differently. This is just what's been happening in companies that I worked in, and this is the strategy that would have worked in those companies. Thank you for watching, and if you have any more questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below.